are now tuned in to Atlanta's hottest radio show.
Our stories from our studio to your ear. It's the Beyond Swanky podcast.
With your host, Kennedy Lucas. On Swanky 93.3 radio station. The Heat 94.6 radio station.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast here today. Oh, y'all thought we weren't going to do the Beyond Swanky podcast on this wonderful, when we're recording Wednesday, but of course on Thursday night, y'all thought we weren't going to upload for the ending of this week or getting closer to the weekend. Guess again, y'all. Welcome to another exciting podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Beyond Swanky podcast with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Guys, we've got a juicy one. We've got another juicy one. We've got some great ones here today. And I'm stoked. I'm happy. I'm ready for this another exciting podcast for you guys today. I'm ready. Like I say, I'm always ready for another podcast, another thing to talk about, we've got some juicy topics of conversation, T. Of course, we got T up in the building. Monica, she's here. Addison is always here. We've got James Myers in the building as well. We had a great day. We did. It was a great day media wise. Of course, we've got the full trailer coming out today. Full trailer of Eden Prime's coming out. I cannot wait, guys. Let me tell you. So we gave you guys a little teaser trailer when it came down to the movie Eden Prime. And I just got to say real quick, I know we've got topics, we've got a sponsor, we've got these things. I'm going to get to it. But I'm really, really excited because, Eden Prime, right? Eden Prime's one of those movies that, we worked really hard on. We took months and we animated really well. We added some elements. We changed some things, voice acting, animation, illustration, running our engine. It takes a lot to make those type of movies. So when we're able to sit down and really give you guys a great movie, I get really excited, and I hope everybody enjoys it when it comes out later on. The first streaming platform is scheduled to be out for is Prime Video, so I hope everybody enjoys it. It comes out late February. Promotion for us starts now. Like, we're gonna be shouting it out. And you guys are probably gonna get sick of me talking about it, but it comes out in about a month, right? So we're doing promotion here. We're doing a little bit of promotion in New York, and then when it comes out, it'll be out, and everybody's going to hopefully watch it and enjoy it. So, like I say, it's a great story. It's a great tale to things. It's a great start to our new wave of films, if you will. And just by seeing the full official cinematic trailer, yes, I get very, very excited because we worked really hard on those films. And as always, I got to say thank you to everybody who's seen my film so far, whether you've seen Heartline Second Term on Prime, or if you've seen Street Style, A New York Culture on Prime. I thank you guys for that. I really do. So let's get on to it. We've got some topics of conversations today, but before we do that, T, you know what time it is. It's sponsor time. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, my sister started her floral business, and I always got to shout out my family first. I know you guys have been hearing a lot of other sponsorships that we've had out, but I've got to launch and shout out my sister as always. Again, Floral Haven XO is her newest business. Of course, get the slogan, because she told me this slogan. Her slogan is, "You deserve your roses for any moment." I love the slogan, Deems. Of course, Savannah, Georgia, and the surrounding areas, you can place your order. She has her website. Yes, she has her website. It's floralhavenxo.com. Again, that's floralhavenxo.com. Click the link in her bio for Instagram. It leads up to the website. Click the website, and it opens up her website so that way you can get your orders. Of course, limited orders for Valentine's Day this year. Be the first to place your order by February 2nd. So for all of my ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted to gift your roses to your loved ones, guys, do not hesitate. Valentine's Day, let me tell you, it's coming around the corner. It is. Now, of course, on Valentine's Day, I'll be in New York, but of course, get those orders in if you want to gift something to your loved ones because um, she's placing the orders. And like I say, it's quality. It's not something that you need to go to Kroger and pick up a batch of flowers and it dies in 10 minutes. No. Flora Haven has the quality where your loved one will keep their package perfectly wrapped package of roses, the box quality, and she buys the boxes, and it's design, right? It's design, it's quality, and it's a great price. So again, don't sleep on her. Flora Haven XO, get your orders in for Valentine's Day. Speaking of Valentine's Day, I look at T and he said, yeah, we can announce a little bit. Of course, we were partnering up with Spotify to create another Valentine's 2023 playlist. Now, if you guys remember, we did a playlist called Hopeless Romantic, and this was back in 2000, and I want to say 2019. I want to say we did it. And then Hopeless Romantic 2, that was an album we did. So we're bringing the playlist subscription, well, not subscription, but playlist creation back. Of course, me and my team were getting together and we're highlighting artists who sing either hip hop, R&B, rhythm and blues, or soul. We're compiling a playlist together and we're going to call it Hopeless Romantic 3. Is going to be a playlist for Spotify to get you in tune for Valentine's Day. And of course, we're going to be shouting it out not only for Atlanta right now, but we're going to be shouting it out in New York too. So yes, we've got a lot of things to do in New York. So thank you, Spotify, for allowing us to create this playlist, and hopefully this campaign promotion, if you will, goes really well. I'm excited. And comment below or in our forum, what artists would you like to see in our special playlist for Valentine's Day 2023? I want to hear it. So yes, hit that comment below, subscribe, and leave your comments, because I really do want to know how who or what artists you guys would like to hear, and maybe your song gets chosen and maybe you get a shout out. I don't know. That's just something that we were thinking about doing. So we do have a topic of conversation today, and when it comes to these type of shows, the Beyond Swanky podcast, we like to do polls, right? We do polls either on Instagram, either our forum, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Now, we did our forum via our website. Again, you can go to our website, www.lucas904.wingstop.com/KLPE, because we not only updated the website, you guys can see the latest news from the XFX Designs acquisition that we announced yesterday. We have a forum, and we ask questions. We ask a number of questions, and then you guys take a vote on the questions, so that way it becomes a topic of conversation with our podcast. So we have two, so we're going to break it up into two segments on today's show. The first question that got the highest poll this week, we got to say, and the question is, in the question we posed, what are your thoughts on the future of work and changing nature of jobs? And that was the highest poll for this week. I know a lot of people are doing a lot of working. A lot of people are working from home. And I want to kind of give my perspective on this question. There's no right or wrong with this type of questions. Some people agree, some people may not agree. But this is just something that I wanted to pose this because me and quite a few friends talked about this, like the job market this week. We just had a very good conversation about work and where we want to achieve next. My friend that I've talked about, she's getting her MBA and she's looking to move forward in her future. And that's kind of the same idea I have for myself, right? Where you come out and you get your MBA, you want to continue to go further. That's always been the goal of mine. The goal of mine is to hit six figures and to own a house before the age of 30. And I think I'm on the right track because I'm 26. So we have to, in our generation, get our mindset right. Now, I've been talking on the podcast about these different types of conversations and making sure that you guys are doing the right thing and, staying focused. And I think the first episode of this season, I talked about a special episode. We were talking about staying focused this year, and I mean that, T. I do, because these are the things that is changing. And I can say on the podcast, and it kind of scares me a little bit. But a lot of companies, and this is related to the topic, a lot of companies are not looking for people with bachelor's degree anymore. It's so sad because all of us go to school for 4 years to achieve a bachelor's degree, and even now it's hard to get a job with just a bachelor's degree, causing you to go back to school to get your master's. Because that's what companies look for. They look for people who have masters. They do, and it's a sad occasion that this happens, but it happens. So it's important, right? And my thoughts on the future of work, it's weird. It's a little weird because a lot of people are dabbling in work from home. I know a lot of people ask me, why don't I work from home? Sometimes I do. Maybe not in one of my offices, but if I'm doing media or I'm podcasting or something like that, and I got to edit a podcast, I take it home, right? So a lot of people do work from home. And I don't discredit anybody who do work from home. Hey, if you work from home, you don't have to leave your house and you get paid to not leave your house and work. That's all well and handy and dandy. A lot of people had to do that in 2020 because we couldn't go anywhere, right? But a lot of people, I feel, they are saying, okay, I don't want to be trapped in my house all day, every day. And I'm like that, right? Because you guys remember, this was 2020 where we couldn't go nowhere. Now, at the time, I was still working in hospitality. I would go in for hospitality, but I could only go to work and home. And even going to the store was very scarce because everybody was very timid. You had to have a mask on, regardless. Even though you got some douchebags that don't. No, I don't believe in masks. Okay, well, it's not a religious thing. It's your health. I used to hate that back in 2020 where people, because in hospitality, we had to force mask mandates in our hotels. I don't believe in masks. When did this become a religious thing? No, it's just for you to not get sick. But anyway, a lot of people were scarce to go out. So in 2020, yes, a lot of people, hey, work from home. So that way they're safe. That was the most devastating time of my life. Of everybody's lives, right? 2020 was hard. It was hard for K.L.P Entertainment. Everybody could not come to the studio. Nope. It was very scarce. Now that we're in 2023, a lot of people are shifting to where they're still working from home, right? Because that's the new norm, right? If they got their job in 2020 working from home, they're making some money, they ain't gonna quit that work from home job. For me, I don't know if I like to work from home because I like to get out, right? I like to go out with friends. I like to go to dinner. I have an office outside of my home, 2 offices outside my home. So yeah, now, yes, obviously I have to leave my house to go to work. And I think that's just a different thing that people feel, right? Excuse me. People feel that way because they don't want to be trapped. And, I don't want to be trapped when it comes down to working from home. So that's why I hope that my job out there, I don't have to, be sequestered into my home work from home option. There's a lot of jobs that pay a lot for work from home type of options. But I just don't feel the comfort in working from home. And there's another thing too, that I tell people, because a lot of people are like, yeah, I work from home. You work from home? No, because why? If you're stressed out at work, in your offices is your home office at home. Now you're bringing your stress home. When I leave my offices, it's the stress that I might have that day, the aggravations, the annoyance I might have in my office that day. When I'm coming home, I'm not bringing that stuff home, right? That energy, the negative energy, it's left at the office. It's not traveling with me when I get home, because at my home, I got positive energy, right? So it's just one of those things that's very interesting. And it is changing. The nature of the job market, it's changing, guys. It is. It's a lot of people that's working from home. A lot of people are coming back from working from home because now they're having people come into the office nowadays is one of those things. Now, when it comes to mask mandates, a lot of people don't wear masks. Obviously, in my offices, I'm wearing a mask, especially this month because I'm leaving next month for New York. And I was telling my producer slash brother and our friends that are producers for the documentary, but they're going with us too. I tell them, hey, drink emergency, stay safe, wear a mask, do not get sick, because we don't want you sick on this trip, right? So I'm still gonna rock a mask. I probably in New York, I'm still gonna rock a mask up there in New York, right? Because I'm scared to get sick. 2021, I had COVID. It was not fun. It was not a fun venture to have, but I really enjoy wearing the mask so I don't get sick. I know a lot of people looking at me like, hey, you still rocking a mask? Yes, absolutely. You don't know where people come from. People might say they didn't have COVID or they tested negative for COVID. You don't know. You don't go home with them. They're not going to show you their test records, right? Somebody could have easily lied to you and say, oh, I just been sick, but it wasn't COVID. How do I know? How do I know you just didn't lie to me, right? So like I say, yes, job markets are changing. They are. Unfortunately, a lot of jobs. And then this is what I said too, T. Jobs are not hiring people with bachelor's degrees because they can't afford it. It's not that they don't want it. Well, some jobs that really didn't require a master's degree. They say they require a master's degree to make themselves look good. But a lot of jobs, they say, hey, honestly, we can't afford it. 2020 messed us up. We don't have money to pay you. Pay your salary. Hence why we can't hire you. But I do say to a lot of jobs out there, if you can't afford to hire new hires, don't post your application on Indeed, right? Before working my other office where I work at, institution, not gonna name the name, obviously, but before I came to that, I started looking for other jobs, and a lot of jobs was hiring, but they hired on Indeed or whatever to make their system look good and say, yeah, we're hiring for their shareholders, but they don't really hire. They like to waste your time. Because I'm a victim of that, to where a job is right up my alley. I have a bachelor's degree and I'm very qualified, but then they say, sorry, this email, thank you for your application, but unfortunately we decided to go with another candidate. There's no other candidate. You just wasted people's time to make your system look good so your shareholders can say, okay, yeah, we are hiring. Nah. Been there, done that. You everybody has to know the ins and outs of these type of businesses that say that they're hiring for jobs, and truth be told, they're not hiring for jobs. Truth be told. And it's just one of those things. I don't understand it. I really wish that people would stop doing that, because it's unfair, but people are not going to stop doing that for sure. But it does happen. It does happen in our society, and I want people to stop doing that. I want people to be honest. If you can't hire, don't post your application on Indeed or LinkedIn or wherever you go to find jobs, because it's just wasting people's time. But people ain't gonna stop doing that, though. They're not. Unfortunately, they're not. But yeah, that's the job market. That's the future of jobs. You know, a lot of people, a lot of cuts. I saw today that, who was it? Microsoft's cutting 10,000 people. 10,000 workers I saw today when I woke up and ate some breakfast. I saw that and I'm like, man, Microsoft cutting 10,000 people, Amazon cutting people, Google cut some people. A lot of jobs are getting cut right now. So that's why I say every day, like, I'm glad I'm doing me and I have my businesses, because hey, people are getting cut for your job, and you know, you got to go find something else, and then that's even hard. Who knows if you got a mortgage or family or kids or whoever, you know, that stuff is expensive. And to learn that you just been fired just because they just had to make a job cut, is interesting. Very, very interesting for these bigger companies for sure. So like I say on that, everybody watch your back on that, but it does happen. It happens. It does happen. So I hope everybody is safe if you're getting cut. But that's the job market. That's what's going on right now, and it's very competitive. We have to be very, very competitive in the job market. Hence why I'm back in school, getting an MBA. Because hey, with a bachelor's, there's so much I can go so far with that. But now with a master's, they're looking at it and say, okay, yeah, let's see how far that goes with the master's. And hell, if that doesn't work, I'm going back to school to get a doctorate, right? PhD. That's the next thing that's lined up if my MBA doesn't work. So it's just one of those things that now we're in there. I think a lot of people, and we're kind of talking about education too. And I guess, I mean, that wasn't the question, but I'm talking about education too, because it lines up, guys. But I say to a lot of people, because a lot of people are very conflicted about going back to school. I'm happy with the decision of me going back to school. A lot of people had asked me about some advice about going back to school. Great professors at Georgia Gwinnett College. Shout out to them. GGC, as always, you guys have my heart. But a lot of people had asked me, should I go back to school after I get my bachelor's? Professors at GGC would tell us that wait a year. Now, I waited 2 years. Excuse me. I waited 2 years, right? Because I graduated in 2020. And unfortunately, in 2020, I didn't have a graduation ceremony because of COVID. So, it was just a slideshow, and I had got my graduation gift in the mail, and that was it. And then a few weeks later, I got my degree mailed to me via FedEx. And that was, that graduation sucked, right? And I don't know, my high school graduation sucked, and my college graduation sucked. So hopefully, I think I'm gonna throw a party when I get my master's degree, because I don't think I ever told y'all my high school graduation and GGC graduation sucked, because that was 2020. It sucked. Both of them sucked. I didn't have that celebratory feeling that you're supposed to have when you finish school. So maybe with a master's degree, damn it, I'm throwing a party. 2024, guys, I'm throwing a master's degree completion graduation dinner, and my family and my squad is gonna be there. Not all my family, but my siblings, they're gonna be there. But my squad gonna be there. But I waited 2 years because in 2021 I wasn't ready, right? I had just now started working in 2020, left Amazon, working for an institution, making a little bit more money. I was not ready though. 2022 is when I went back to school, and now we're in 2023. I'm still in it. I'm getting ready for course 4 in 2 weeks. I'm just about wrapped up with course 3, so I'm zipping them through like hotcakes. It's important. If you have the opportunity to go back to school, I say yes. A lot of people who are young, again, not married, don't have any kids, don't have big responsibilities, yes, go back to school. Now, I know a lot of people in my generation, a lot of people that are with my standard, you have to work for a living. And honestly, yes, I work for a living. You see all the movies that I promote for myself, the music, and that stuff is handy dandy and it's part of the business, but I ain't rich, right? A lot of people, I had a lot of people ask me, "Oh, you're Hollywood?" Nah, we kind of out there, but I ain't rich, right? I work for my meal. God knows I do. So I work hard for it, and it's a grind to do full-time, be a full-time worker with your businesses and your side hustles, because I have quite a few businesses and side hustles, and then going to school as well. Yes, it's hard. Can I do it? I mean, I'm doing it now, and I did it when I was getting my undergrad and I was hustling. So it's nothing to that I can't do. But was it hard for me to do at first? Yes. Does it come natural to me now? Yeah, because I've done it when I was an undergrad, getting my bachelor's and hustling. And now it's just a different scope because a master's program is completely different than an undergrad. So I'm a lot more focused. I'm tuning out. In the first podcast I said, Monica, I'm tuning out the negative, because that's what I meant when I said I didn't have time. No, because I'm hustling. I'm working. I don't have time for negativity. I'm hustling, making money while getting my degree at the same time. That's the whole concept of the first podcast we did, so it can be done. And I say to a lot of young people, go back and get that education, get as much education as you can, because a lot of these jobs will try to punk you out if you're not educated. Because if you don't know, they're going to play it off. They're going to say, this man or woman, they don't know. They haven't been educated. So now we can finesse them. We can trick them. Make them bend to our realm, because it's going to work, because they don't have the education. They don't know. But as you get educated and you get more smart in education, now you realize, and you know how to make money. You know how to run businesses. You know when a business, this guy could have HR try to play you. You know these things now, right? So it's interesting. It's a very interesting case. To answer that question, yes, I do think that the job market is changing. The future of work is changing that changes every day. But it's very competitive, and I hate that it is competitive nowadays, because everybody's just trying to get their meal on their table. But it's very competitive, and you got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry. You got to be greedy in this society to get what you need. So to answer that poll question, yes, it is changing. It changes every day. Changing nature of the jobs is changing, and we just got to be, competitive. We do. So we're going to play some music real quick, but we'll be right back on the Beyond Swanky podcast with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Yeah, I was parched, T. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Sorry, I was drinking. So one of the things I like to, and I'm clearing my throat because I just drunk some. It's powdered with apple cider, and then you can mix it with juice or water. I mixed it with water because number one, I was a little bit dehydrated, and when you're podcasting a lot, you get dehydrated. So you got to make sure you keep hydrated. And I like to mix it with apple cider powder, and what that does is it's kind of like the brand Emergency. It's just help boost your immune system inside your body, so that way you guys don't get sick. I've been doing that this whole month, wearing a mask, drinking this stuff, staying healthy, and just watching my surroundings, because like I say, we're leaving next month for New York, and I just cannot afford to get sick. I knock on wood that nothing happens sickness wise. I'm sure it won't, but you can never be too careful with that. So when we come back from New York, though, it's a lot of great games that are coming out. And I see a lot of YouTubers talking about this game, Hogwarts Legacy, and everybody's rioting right now. One YouTuber, Melanie Mack, I've been watching her videos as of late. And I kind of agree with her, because a lot of people are some things some things she says on some of her videos I don't agree with, but like most of the things I agree with. I agree with her about people wanting to not play the game because of what maybe J.K. Rowling's views are. Honestly, I don't care what her views are. I really don't. This is her IP. J.K. Rowling, the writer of Harry Potter. And I'm seeing some great things about Hogwarts Legacy for PlayStation 5. I know a lot of people have pre-ordered the game already. I was thinking about it, but then I forgot, hey, I'm leaving out of town, and I'm going to need, all the coins we can, because it's New York. We're going to be eating and doing a lot. So I'm going to get the game when I come back from New York. And a lot of people have their views about it, and I understand people's opinions. Like, I'm not going to sit here on the podcast and say that people's opinions don't matter. But if you don't play the game because you don't believe in somebody's views, whether it's religious or political, then just don't buy the game. It's just that simple. I don't care. I'm still going to buy the game because I feel that this game is going to be a great game. Plus, I need something new to play. I played my PlayStation 5 the other day, and I won't say that I'm bored, because I love my PlayStation 5. It's just I beat all my games. Except for Sonic Frontiers. I haven't dabbled that in yet, but all the other games that I have I beat it already. So it's just like, okay, what else do I need to do on this game? So Ratchet and Clank or Rift Apart, I just started over because I beat everything on the game. So I'm like, okay, I'll just play it again, just for killing time, right? Oh well, okay. So Sonic Frontiers, Gotham Knights haven't beat yet. Montreal Games, what are y'all waiting for this 60 frames per second? It's been a couple months now. We're waiting for 60 frames per second. So just release that when y'all feel like it. But like I say, just buy the game, play the game. Let's stop bringing politics and religious views into gaming. Honestly, I agree with Melanie Mac on her shows and her YouTube. I feel like that stuff is just killing the game industry. I don't care enough to think about what J.K. Rowling thinks politically. I do not care. I don't. Because let's be honest, guys, whatever her values are, she's still rich as hell. Harry Potter is still selling. We've got to get into that mindset, guys. We do. We have to stop talking about political views on our shows. And I'm not just talking to Melanie or at Melanie Mac. And sometimes she has, but I'm not talking directly to her or at her because I don't want to come for me because she's smart as hell. But every other YouTuber that I've seen, they're bringing religious and political views to their YouTube channel or their podcast shows, and we have to stop doing that. That is a way to get canceled. Melanie Mac doesn't believe in woke culture. I kind of do believe in woke culture to a certain extent, so that's where I kind of differ from her views, but she's still a good YouTuber. I'm not gonna shame Miss Melanie Mac for her political views. I doubt she's listening to the show, but I'm not going to shame her for what she believes in. Everybody has a right to their opinion, but I get so mad, not at Melanie Mac, but I get mad at other YouTubers, and there's very few that I follow, because when I have a YouTuber that solely talk about political stuff, I just unfollow because I just don't care. I don't. We are not a political show. We might have talked about some political stuff when it comes to our news breaking, and Addison and Arthur's breaking some political news when it's necessary. But lately, we've been talking about some interesting entertainment. Addison Hayden, she's been talking about hip hop. Arthur, he's talking about sports. These things matter to K.L.P. Entertainment. We're not going to dabble about what people feel about their political views from somebody who has an IP. People are still going to buy the game. J.K. Rowling, not only her, but a lot of directors and developers who made this game, they're going to be getting their coins as well. They do not give a flying fuck about what J.K. Rowling feels about her political views. Sorry, guys. A lot of YouTubers. And this is another thing. Again, shout out to Melanie Mac. Again, she don't know who I am, but I watch her shows, and some things, she got some good stuff. But in her latest video, she talked about, and we have another topic, by the way, but I want to get this rant off, T. She talked about this YouTuber. It's okay if you're streaming your games, because we stream our games too. It's the Swanky Gamers podcast, which another episode's coming soon, guys. I'm sorry. I know I haven't been doing that podcast in a week. We just been booked. And we're making a documentary, so give us a break. But this one YouTuber is streaming Hogwarts Legacy, and he says all proceeds is going to an organization. I get why people are doing that. I do wish people, and I'm kind of guilty of this too, because we did something for Toys for Tots last Christmas, and we kind of made it public, but it wasn't. Me too, I'm talking to myself too. We got to stop saying that we're going to give proceeds to a charitable cause just for attention. I don't know if that YouTuber did it for attention, but to me it sounded like, okay, you're doing all this extra stuff, you're highlighting what you're doing, and you're over exploiting it, right? If you're going to give away for charity, you can do it, but it's good to do it on the side note. It's good to not let everybody, don't drill it in people's head that you're doing it because of that, right? Do it because you want to. Do it behind the curtain, not in front of people. But he's having some slack because a lot of people are not going to buy Hogwarts Legacy because of religious political views. And then they're saying, commenting and tweeting at him and say, hey, I'm not going to support you anymore financially because you believe in this. And now the guy has some thoughts about it. right? Stream the game if you want to, right? If it's every day I get a subscriber or a follower that unfollow me because they don't like something that I said. They don't like something that I tweeted. Somebody probably gonna unfollow me right now for this podcast, right? It comes with the business. It does. And there are a lot of YouTubers that are very strong about it, and they have the comments, the hate comments, and then they just shrug the shirt and say, okay, that's how you feel, you're entitled to your opinion, and then they keep moving on. But then you got some YouTubers that take that to heart. Don't take it to heart. It's the internet. People are gonna hate on you. I got a 1 star on Hardline Second Term, Prime Video. That movie that came out, one of my movies. Somebody gave me a 1 star. You think that destroyed me? Y'all think that 1 star got me sad and said I'm never gonna make movies again because I got 1 star from a fan? I don't care. Now, does it hurt? Yeah, it hurt when I saw it. It hurt for a minute. And then I laughed because I'm like, okay, well, hey, my movie's on Prime, so hey, I'm pretty happy with it. But it hurt, but I kept moving on, right? Because now Eden Prime's getting ready to come out. I'm making another documentary. And we got another movie announcement that we're going to announce later on in the year, right? So it's okay to get haters. People are going to hate, and they're entitled to their opinion. Like I say, is people that are critiques. I critique people too. I do. Yesterday's podcast, I critiqued on the guy who made the Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King sculpture in Boston. I critiqued the hell out of that. I'm sure a lot of people did. It's our right to have our opinion about something. We can have a debate about it, but it doesn't. Hey, that's your opinion. Everybody has a right to their opinion. So like I say, Hogwarts Legacy is a game that's coming out. It's coming out in February. Well, February 10th is when it comes out. Again, I'll be in New York filming, so I won't be able to play the game right out, but definitely maybe in March I'm going to pick up the game. Because when I come back, we got a lot of stuff to do. So when I come back, and then in March I'll pick up the game and I'll play it for myself. I might even enjoy it. Because like I say, I want a new game for my PlayStation 5. This year is the year of gaming because you got Hogwarts, you got hopefully Starfield comes out, you got Spider-Man, you've got all these different types of games that's coming out for not only Xbox but for PlayStation 5 as well. So like I say, this is just how I do it. So guys, pick the game up if you just want to be a gamer, and we got to stop calling ourselves gamers too, because Rich from Review Tech USA, he said something very interesting too. He hates it when people call us gamers. I kind of agree with him on that, because what he said on his video, and I'm saying on the podcast, yeah, I'm just a guy who loves video games. But I'm guilty of it too, because sometimes I call myself a gamer too by and it's because we've been calling ourselves that for so long. So it's just kind of, I don't know, T, it's just kind of in our brain just a little bit. But anyway, like I say, Hogwarts Legacy is coming out. If you just want to be a guy or a gal that loves video game, pick the game up. Forget about what people's political views are. Pick the game up, play the game, have fun. That's the whole purpose of gaming entertainment, is buying a video game, sitting on a couch, and playing a video game. That is the one thing I do on my off time. When I'm off and K.L.P Entertainment and Kennedy Lucas Associates have downtime and I'm at the house just chilling, I'm popping in a video game, because that is the only relaxation that I have for my busy schedule. If you want to be like one of those people, like just sit down, relax, have a drink, have a smoke, play a video game, that's what gaming's all about, really. We have to stop bringing political and religious views when it comes to gaming, because leave that for the politics, leave that for CNN and whoever, leave that to them. Let us have our moment and just talk about games, review games for fun, right? That's this podcast. When we review last podcast, we talked about The Last of Us first episode. We had fun doing that because we just reviewed it for fun. There was no political views, no religious views on that. It was all for fun. And as people like us in the gaming community, we're losing the focus of that. And I really hate that. It really bugs the living shit out of me. It really does. But anyway, let me get a sip real quick, T. So like I say, apple cider water is really good too. And it's boosting my immune system so I don't get sick. Hey, okay. So it's the time of healing. And we did another poll today. Excuse me. We did another poll today. And the poll says healing from a past relationship and moving forward. And I thought this was appropriate for today's show as the main event, because we're learning, or at least I'm learning, a lot of people don't know how to heal. And I honestly got to say, we have to, in 2023, learn how to heal, right? I'm still healing. You guys know my story. I've talked about it. I wrote about it. I'm not going to go down that road to that story. That's a whole nother podcast for another day. But one thing that I can come out openly and say on today's podcast and any other show, if you ask about it, I'll tell you. PTSD, anxiety, and OCD. Those are the three things I have. Again, that's PTSD, anxiety, and OCD. I get very anxious, right? When it comes to a big opportunity, whether it's sometimes if I'm podcasting a big podcast, I get anxious. When I'm filming a movie, I get anxious. When I'm presenting something, I get a little anxious. Now, I'm pretty good in front of a crowd. Like, if you get me in front of a crowd, yeah, hey, because I podcast. I'm a talk show host. So I'm used to that. But yes, I get anxious. PTSD, loud noises, unforeseen things that happen that shouldn't happen, loud, ominous music playing, and I don't know where it's coming from. That scares me. It does. PTSD. When I'm driving, someone's honking the horn, I get nervous a little because noise like that freaks me out. It's my PTSD, right? It hits me. It really does. OCD. You guys haven't seen my house. You probably will never see my house, but Monica, you've seen the house. You know how organized I have to be. How things have to be a certain angle. Whether it's at my house, my studios, or even my offices. Everything has to go aligned right, or it's going to bug me all day. Right? Now, these things I didn't always have. Of course, I've had a lot of trauma, which we're not going to go down that road, but you guys know the trauma things I've been through in my lifetime. So these three things I accumulate. I do. But I'm learning to heal, right? Healing from, if it's, from people, most importantly, people that's affected my three items I just mentioned. I'm learning to heal, right? Because I'm getting older. I'm getting old. And I joke around that because 26, I'm super young, but that's, hey, in 4 years, I'll be 30. We're learning to heal. Learning to heal from the past, relationships, and moving forward. Yes, I've had relationships. I had friendships, and I had love relationships. I can say I had more friendships than I had love relationships, but I had a mixture of both. When it was in grade school, I don't really remember grade school that well, but I've had a lot of friendships that I had to cut off. Middle school was weird. High school, it was a little weird. Well, it was weird until I got into my 11th and 12th grade year. That's when I really started building relationships. College is really where it hit for me, but I've had a lot of relationships in high school. I've had friends who, for example, I had friends for Central Gwinnett. Shout out to the Black Knights. If you're a Central Gwinnett Black Knight, shout out to you. But I had friends from that, and things didn't end up well. Some of the friends that ended up well in Central Gwinnett, they end up going to GGC. So it's very interesting with that dynamic. I had friends. So I went to this technical program, Grayson Technical is the name of the program. I had a friendship with, I want to say, 3 other people. I gotta name their names on the show, and it didn't end well, right? And I knew, and this stigma was true too, because if you had friends from high school, you're really not gonna see them after high school, right? Because we get older, we move on, we really start to understand things about ourselves that you probably didn't know in high school. You experience some things. Now I'm well experienced now because I graduated college 2 years ago. So now I'm out there. I've experienced a whole hell of a lot of things. But we are learning to heal. One thing I can say on the show, I wish I had done, and I wish I could still do today, those 3 people from Grayson Tech, I wish I can call them up and say, hey, I'm sorry how things ended. I wish I could say, hey, I'm so sorry how the way I acted, because it was my fault. I was being a jackass, right? I wish I could call him up and say, hey, I am so sorry. I am a different man now. I'm 26. I graduated college 2 years ago. I grew up. God knows I grew up. I'm not, and I'll say, and my brother knows me too, I'm not the same man as I was when I was in high school. Because a lot of shit happened between ending high school and college. A lot of shit has happened. Right? It's a whole different story, a whole different movie. Because I wasn't the same man that I was in high school. I was a kid. I didn't understand. I had anxiety. I wouldn't say I was overweight, but I was chubby. Right? I love to eat. I was and I'm a super nerd now, but I was a super nerd, you know. I was totally different in high school, and I messed things up with friends because of my ego, right? Because of things I wanted to achieve, and I portrayed my ego on those 3 people, and they wasn't rocking with that. And turns out everybody was going to college. And mind you, I was gonna go to there's a school, and shout out to them, Full Sail University. It was a film school. It's a film school in Winter Park, Florida. I was getting ready to go there and do it big time, but of course, life took a turn, and you know, God didn't have that plan for me. He said, "This is not the plan for you. We got another plan for you." So I was acting like a big shot, that I was special. And the 3 people that I was friends with Grayson Tech, I lost those friends because they wasn't rocking with that. I wasn't being the true me, you know. And as life goes on, and you know, seeing those friends, I know 2 of the friends I'm sure they probably blocked me for social media, so I don't know how they're doing. I hope they're well. I hope they're healthy, right? But you know, when you're blocked on social media, you can't, you know, you don't know how people are doing. You don't know, right? You wish them the best of luck. They don't want to see my stuff, and that's fine, right? But I wish I could mend that. I wish I can see them and say, hey, I'm sorry, it's my fault. Because those same 3 people, I would say, hey, it's my fault, but I was a kid in high school. And now I've graduated college 2 years ago. I have businesses and full-time jobs that require my attention. And now I'm back in school getting my master's. So yeah, I'm a completely different man. Probably a better man, right? So that's one thing that I've been healing for a very long time. But a back of my mind says, man, I wish I could have done that differently, you know? Right? And the same thing happened to GGC. Now I had a lot of great memories at GGC. I've had some bad experiences at GGC, but I've had mostly good experiences. Where I broke it off with certain friends, and it's like, damn, like I wish. There was this one girl I went out to dinner with. I'm not gonna name her name. I still think she's cute to this day, honestly. I remember I was what was I doing? I was studying or either podcasting. I think I was studying. in the library, and she comes in and she had the room blocked. And I really needed to study. And she said, "Hey, you could just stay. Can I just study in here with you?" And long and behold, we just got to talking. We just got to talking. I forgot what we were studying that day. We needed to study. And she was such a sweet girl. Like, she was so nice. I could tell she was just looking for some friends. And later that week, we went for fried sushi. I'm never going to forget it. I hope she's listening to this podcast because I don't want to put her out on blast. But I remember that. And it was a date. It was. I considered it a date. But then we didn't go anywhere with it. That girl I went to fried sushi, GGC girl, I hope she's well too, right? Because again, this was what? I was a sophomore in GGC, so I'm still a different man now than I was sophomore year at GGC. So that's another interesting experience to where a lot of people were learning to heal. Now, I didn't have a lot of enemies at GGC in general. I didn't have any enemies when I was an RA. Everybody was pretty good. I just feel like the RA family that I was an RA with, they all grew up, right? Most of them got kids. Most of them got married. Our boss at the time, Sandrine, she got married, graduated with an MBA, and had a kid. So life happens. Things have changed, and I hope Sandrine. Nah, I am putting her out on blast because she was a great boss. I hope she's well. But things change. And the moral of the story is we have to learn to heal, right? I've done some things, middle school, high school, and a little bit of college. I've done some bad things. Some incredible things you never thought that I would do, but I'm learning to heal. Do I think about these things? Yes. Those 3 people I mentioned from Grayson Tech, at Grayson High School, I wish I could mend things. I wish I can hit them up and, like I said, hit them up and say, I don't want nothing. I just want to say that I'm sorry that high school ended the way it did, and it shouldn't have. Because I was going through it. And again, this was trauma. This was, my parents had some situations. Everybody had situations in our family. So I portrayed my negative energy from that towards my high school friends. One girl I fell in love with, and I kind of gave her the negative energy because I was mad. Not at her, but I was mad at myself. I was mad at the situation we were going through. And today I wish I can call her up and say, I'm sorry. My fault. I was a kid in high school, but now I'm a grown man. I've changed. I've worked, and life has took me for a ride so far, and the ride's been great. I gotta say, I'm very thankful for it, but the ride has been wild so far. Since high school up to now, it's been a ride for sure. And we have to learn to heal. Healing for some people takes a while, but to certain people, they're learning, and I'm still learning how to heal, right? There's a lot of things that are still not mend with me, but I'm working on it. Each and every day, I'm working to be a better self, be a better man. And that's what we all have to do. We have to stop wallowing in our past because we've done some crazy crap in our past. But how long will it be for you to carry on that dead weight? For you to say, oh, okay, I'm just going to let it go. Right? We have to get into the mindset if somebody's been hurt, healing time. Go talk to them. Whether it is, I wish I can go talk to my 3 friends. I'll say friends, 3 friends from Grayson Tech. I wish I can go talk to them, have a conversation, and also hear them out. Not over talk them. Not, hey, I don't want to listen to what you guys say. Now you got to listen to what no. I want to hear your concerns. I want to clear the air. I want to mend things because number one, life's too short. People are dying every day, and it's sad. Every news outlet I'm seeing, every day somebody died. Somebody got shot. It's time for healing. Because number one, life's too short. Life is too crazy for people to be dwelling in the past. And that's something I've learned, and for years now, I've learned healing is a great thing. One of the things I do for healing is meditation. I do. I really do. I really enjoy meditation because it is one of those things that I genuinely enjoy. Guys, it's time to heal. It's time to heal. If you got a relationship and your relationship didn't work out well and you're still mad at her or mad at him, whoever it is, mend that. Talk to him. Hear them out. Hear what they got to say. And then you can critique later. Right? So that's going to wrap it up here on the Beyond Swanky podcast with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching the video version on YouTube over at K.L.P. Entertainment. But if you're listening for iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Podcasts, thank you guys so much. Like our episode and share it with your friends so that way you guys don't miss it. Listen to any platform that is available to you, whether you got Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, whoever you want to listen to. Again, shout us out because that appreciation is always nice. And of course, special thanks and shout out to Floral Haven, Deamber Patterson. That's my sister. Her business, she got her website, is over at floralhavenxo.com. Get your order in today by February 2nd, so that way you can get your Valentine's Day package. Let me tell you, roses with quality. So of course, shout out to her as well. So that's going to wrap it up here on the podcast. I've been your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. As always, I like to say, stay safe, stay swanky, peace.